All right, people, how's it going? Uh, Welcome back to Pistons Center Court. I should have prepared that intro a little bit better. I was not ready, I guess. But today we are a little bit short-handed starting off, but more people are going to join throughout the night. But let's kick things off with some of my guests. No particular order because we're not playing favorites. Let's start things off with 313 JMO. How's it going, man?
What was good, everybody? How y'all doing, man? I just want to say, I just heard the Knicks, they interested in Darius Garland over RJ Barrett. Oh my goodness.
Next, but certainly, I guess not least because someone else is in here yet, is Troxel Sports Talk. What's going on, Troxel?
What's up, everybody?
Really trying.
That's all you got. Come on, I heard you last night on the round table. You guys were a little bit more
And one thing
confused on the round table.
like, bro, I'm the only one that's normal and mature, and I'm younger than y'all. Like,
Hey, but real
Come
talk though,
on.
I heard actually, despite the workout of Darius Garland, they still want RJ Barrett.
I hope so. I don't want the thought of RJ playing with Zion
Oh, I know that would
because
be lights out.
no, it's not gonna be the whole time. RJ is going to try to prove he's as good as Zion. That's all he's gonna do, and that's gonna cause him his game to just be too much. He needs to go to a place where he can shine by himself.
True.
Like, and he's a ball hog, man. So you got to go to a place he can shine by himself. I don't need him taking the ball from and Drew Holiday and Zion and Lonzo. Like, no,
Right.
Darius
Well, I
Garland
know.
would actually fit
I
much better actually in that situation, just because he's a pure shooter. He's a good passer. I mean, he's just a great guard. Like, if I got Darius Garland, I would move Drew Holiday because Darius and Lonzo in the backcourt sounds great to me.
yeah. Well, I know that was per Wojnarowski too, so it does definitely got
What
some
you just said,
huh?
what you just said about them not wanting him after the workout.
Yeah. They're
Uh,
still the Knicks still want RJ Barrett.
hey, Drew, CA3 asked for the invite.
Yeah,
Okay,
I told him it's in the chat.
okay, so well, I guess we should recap the finals, y'all, because we haven't talked to y'all about the finals, so we'll talk about that for a second at least, just because the NBA finals did end. As everyone knows, the Raptors beat the Warriors on the road in Game 6, last game in Oracle. And this championship changed a lot of things, changed a lot of avenues, put a lot of things on the table. So Drew, man, what you think about what just happened in the final?
Well, first off, because I said I was going to do it, I got to give two special shout outs to Detroit sports fan and Pin Bob Sponge.
Hey,
They donated super
man,
chats last time we went
he's been here
live.
since the first episode we did on his channel. So shout out to you.
So I gotta shout out those two guys, show them some love. And if you guys want to get shouted out like they have been shouted out throughout the week, go ahead and drop a super chat. But enough plugging. Um, yeah, man, this finals was it was definitely different. I did not expect this to be the way it did. I mean, all the injuries did play a huge factor, but I think the Raptors were going to win regardless. They were just hungrier. Going into what five straight finals was that 5-4 something like that, whatever it was, wears and tears your body. And shout out to 2K Plays dropping a super chat right off the bat, getting it going. So now 2K Plays is going to be shout out throughout the week for dropping a super chat. I appreciate that 2K Plays. We are off to a good start tonight, boys.
It's 5 straight years.
5 straight years. So whatever it is, that's a lot of wear and tear in the body, and you could see it with Klay Thompson and KD. KD obviously wasn't there the whole stint, but Klay Thompson was. And there's been some debate if that was a dirty hit by Danny Green. I don't think so. That was a clean one, just an
I don't know,
unfortunate
dirty
fall.
hit.
That's what they've been talking about.
Man, that's bitter Warriors fans crying. Like,
I'm just,
stop it. That if
I'm
that
just
wasn't the
reporting.
most clean ACL breakout unseen in like 5 years, if you don't stop it,
I'm just telling you what they say, man. Don't get
no,
mad.
that's what I'm responding to these Warriors fans. Stop it. Come on, bro. That was nothing but clean. Danny comes from the Spurs. Like, stop it.
I mean, like I said, I don't know if I said it. I'm center court, but I have said it in my videos before. The NBA is a copycat league, soon as the Warriors started shooting threes and winning games, everyone and their mom started shooting threes and trying to put their own twist on the Warriors. And now that they got dethroned, everyone's going to try to copy Toronto, which they didn't shoot that many threes. They shot a bunch of them. That's just how the NBA's played now. But, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. So this is going to be very interesting for the future of the NBA, seeing how successful Toronto was. Outside of Kawhi Leonard, they didn't really have another superstar. Golden State pretty much had 5. So, I think the team play is going to come back into fruition here, and this might put a hurting on super teams. You see LA trying to make that right now, but I'm not sure. I don't really know where I was going with that. When I lost my train of thought.
I was about to say, we gonna get to LA.
Yeah.
To LA and their situation and how I feel about them now that they made the huge mistake of trading my boy, but it's okay. I was gonna say though, the Raptors. I'm not comparing anything when I make. This is not gonna make sense. I'm not comparing anything when I make a comparison. When I say that, I'm not comparing the rosters and the way the teams was built. I'm comparing the way in which they won. The Raptors and the Pistons won in the same way without a super team. And when I say that the Raptors are unique, it's not you can't copy the blueprint that they set out. They're completely unique. Like you can't be a one-man show and win in the NBA. Like it just doesn't happen. The only person who can do it is Kawhi Leonard on the Raptors. You have to have some type of star power. The league is just driven that way. It's just Kawhi. It wasn't, besides Giannis, because Giannis is on his same level, it wasn't nobody on his level in the East at all. Let's be honest with it. If we're talking about experience, only other person who was on his level was Kyrie, and Kyrie got beat by Giannis. So he didn't have to face him. So it's not one nobody on Kawhi level. That's why over there in that West, plenty of guys over there. So I just feel like you can't copy their blueprint. I think the Warriors are still going up. It's still going to be a lot of 3-point shooting. It's just, you can't copy their blueprint because you don't have a Kawhi Leonard. Regardless of whether he's the best player in the world or whatever people want to feel, that two-way ability, nobody else in the league has it. But Travis, what you think about the finals?
Hey, I'm in the building though, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, I saw you.
What up, though?
People who are late get to go last, so
right. Yeah, gotta wait.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I will say this. It was actually a very interesting finals. Going down. What was that? 3-1. And then getting the one game over in Toronto. Well, actually 2 games over in Toronto. And then to lose 3 straight at Oracle Arena, that was pretty historic, because name a team in the playoffs that's been able to beat the Warriors twice in their own building, let alone 3 times. But I mean, it was a good. What?
I said the Clippers.
The Clippers did it?
Yeah, Warriors suck, bro.
I mean, the Cavaliers did it too.
Huh?
The Cavaliers did it too twice.
No, he said this year.
Oh,
this year. So I mean, it was pretty a pretty good finals. I would have loved to see that series go 7, but obviously the injuries caught up to to Golden State. But shout out to the Raptors winning their first ever NBA title.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. All right, Mr. CA3 Sports Talk. What do you think about this finals now that it's over with?
I just thought I saw the finals. I thought the Raptors. I thought they won through defense and they took advantage of the Warriors' size down low, and they I think they utilized their centers. They utilized their size because the Warriors are limited. I mean, I wouldn't say limited in size, but they're just like a defensive liability in size sometimes. And I think the Raptors took advantage of that, and Kawhi, and they're able to take advantage of the Warriors' injuries in there, and I think Kawhi was able to show up and Kawhi showed up when he had to, and a lot of the role players showed up when they needed to. So I think that's why they won the finals. And I think they won. I wouldn't say they won similarly the way to the way I don't think they won similar to the way the Warriors beat the Cavs that one year because I think the Raptors would have still put up a fight even if the Warriors had their team. But I think when the Warriors played the Cavs, I think the Cavs had their full team. I think they would beat the Warriors pretty handily, in my opinion. I think it would have been a different story if there was a healthy Raptors team versus the Warriors with the healthy Warriors team. I think it would have been a pretty battle. I think it still would have been a battle still. But I think it was a good finals. It showed you that you don't have it. It also showed you that you don't have to tank to win.
Okay. You made some very good points there, man. I would say about this finals. I watched a lot of the games closely. Kawhi Leonard will get a lot of credit for winning, but he really won this championship because of his team. I mean, games 5 and 6, Kawhi Leonard didn't really play that well. So his team and they lost game 5 because of it. And his team played. I mean, they played lights out in that last game 6. In my opinion, Pascal Siakam was the best player on the floor that night. In the biggest moment of the game, they didn't go to Kawhi Leonard for some odd reason, but we ain't gonna talk about that. They went to Pascal Siakam and he scored. So, they got a nice foundation over there, and I'm gonna have to give Nick credit. This guy is an amazing coach. He out coached Steve Kerr. I mean, running boxing ones on Steph and just doing anything possible that you could think of to limit Steph Curry's ability. And it worked, and it wore him down throughout the series. But now Raptors are on top. Kawhi Leonard is definitely a top 2 player no matter what now. So we just gonna have to see how that's gonna affect free agency. Because if he should stay, a lot of people think he gonna stay, but he don't have to stay. He can go right over to the Clippers with Lou Will and them boys and be right in the same position. If you compare, especially if you compare the rosters, he can go right back to the Clippers. And a lot of people think the Clippers need to get 2 max free agents. They really don't. Kawhi Leonard just proved that he could go over there and another mid-level tier star could come with him. I know Chris Middleton just opted out of his free agency deal if he went to LA, either team. But if he went to LA, that would be enough because the Clippers have a great roster and great draft picks.
I would like to see him get Jimmy Butler to pair with him. That would be nasty.
Right. You don't need a super team with Kawhi Leonard.
Dude, if you can get Pat Beverly, Jimmy Butler, and Kawhi Leonard, oh my God.
Those are 3 defensive players.
They could run full court press the whole game.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, guys.
Real quick. Tomorrow night, while we got a lot of people here in the chat, and before everyone starts fading in and out, tomorrow night on Troxel Sports Talks channel, we are going live during the NBA draft. So if you want to catch any of that, you want to go to his link in the description with all DSA members. Be sure to check every single one of those guys out, but most importantly, Troxel, because we're going to his channel tomorrow, and you don't want to miss out. So you can see our live reaction, pick by pick, see who the Pistons pick, get our live reactions, good, bad, or indifferent, and talk some draft with us.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that the thing that we do is we switch with the DSA. We switch channels so that we can open up everything to you guys. And so just make sure if you want to talk the draft with us seriously, make sure you at Troxel Sports channel tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe so you can get all of that content, and then we'll switch back next week to Drew channel. That's how we do it. So if y'all really want to talk that draft talk and you want to have a great show with us, make sure you stop by his channel. What is it at? What's the time, Travis?
It's starting at 6:30. We're gonna start about 30 minutes before it actually kicks off.
Right. So 6:30. Make sure you there.
And that's Eastern Standard Time for those over on the West Coast and outside of Michigan.
Right. All right, so go ahead, take the AD away, Drew.
All right. Well, JMO has been itching to talk about this since we went live when it happened.
Mhm.
I don't know how else to describe this. This might be the best move this entire NBA season, maybe in the last few years, and maybe the more years to come, because the Lakers just got one of the best players in the league on their team, Anthony Davis. They traded Zoe, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart, and 3 first-round draft picks for Anthony Davis. That is a lot to give up and a lot in return. So, JMO, since you are itching to talk about this, let's just start out with you. You carry the conversation. Take it where you want to go. The ball's in your court. Let's see what you can do with it.
Travis, make sure put your say something in the chat for the sub. So just make sure you guys subscribe and stop by so you guys can go to the channel so you won't miss the show at 6:30 tomorrow. Um, yeah, man, Anthony Davis. Oh, it's a lot of things been going on. I'm kind of only disgusted with it from the media standpoint because they already debating if they gonna win the championship and debating a record. I'm like, bro, the trade ain't even official to July what 6th?
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, I could get lucky and the Pelicans be like, you know what? No, that's not gonna happen though. But you know, the trade ain't official for a while now, so that's one avenue. But Mr. Sid 3 Sports, so I definitely want to know what you think about this.
Oh, I just think I think for the Lakers, yeah, I think that there's two ways you can look at this. I mean, for the Lakers, it's a good short term move, knowing that LeBron's getting old, and you need to win championships now, especially since Katie and Clay are out for next year. And you want to win now, so I think it gives them a good chance to win next year. But long term, it's probably not a great move long term. But for the Pelicans, that's probably the best trade they could have made for Anthony Davis because they just
Could have
got
got a better one, but they could have got Kuzma too.
huh?
I said they could have got Kuzma too. Remember, the Lakers offered up everybody
Yeah, they could have.
at the trade deadline. They should have just did it then. They could have got Kuzma too, and it would have been all bad.
Yeah, they could have.
Let's forget that.
I mean, let's just say that's one of the best deals they could have done in that situation because they got 3 very promising young players, and then you get 3 first round picks on top of that, including the fourth pick. So I mean, you can't really get any better than that, you know. And then you got lucky in the lottery and you get Zion. It just changes everything. So, you know, I just think it's a very good move for the Pelicans long term, and I think that they are a sleeper team in the future.
Okay. One thing I do want to say, because I see this narrative out there, and all I'm gonna say is to the narrative that I'm about to bring up, not necessarily. People say if the Lakers win a championship, then the trade was worth it. But that isn't the only way they could have won the championship. They could have added someone else and stand it pat with their team instead of trying to construct and build a super team. Now we don't know that for a fact because if they had won the championship, they did it with that squad. But you win that one ring, maybe 2. That's a big maybe. Then after that, in 2022, 2023, 2024, you're not a good team. You gave all your picks to the Pelicans, and now you're bad for another 10 years. That's what they like willing to sacrifice for the championship potential. So I just think it was a good move for both teams though because the Pelicans, I mean they got so much, and I know it's this narrative out there that the Lakers young core isn't all that. I'm gonna just say people are delusional and you don't watch Lakers games. I've been watching the Lakers for the last 3 years, even when they had D'Lo. So I've been watching this team, and I know how good the young talent is. You adding them with Zion and all of them future picks, so that means they're gonna have that team with Lonzo, Zion, maybe Drew Holiday, depending, Ingram, all those guys. And next year they're gonna have a good pick. The year after they're gonna have a good pick. 2023, they're gonna have the Lakers pick and their pick. 2024, they're gonna have the Lakers pick and their pick. It's just like it's just building a team. So if the Pelicans, I don't know, but if they become the new Warriors and people hate them, hate the Lakers.
My whole thing with this one is obviously AD is a monster.
Hold on, Drew. I agree with you. Ira Israel. Shout out to you, man. I definitely agree with what you said. Go ahead.
But let's say LeBron gets hurt again. Let's say he misses 20 some games again. Whatever it was. If they don't get anybody else, like significantly, like they're trying to clear room right now, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on the show. They're trying to get some more pieces to get a max contract slot where they can go after a big name free agent. But right now, if they can't do that, and LeBron does get hurt, how well is Anthony Davis going to be able to lead this team? Like he did it with the Pelicans. He did get the Pelicans past the first round and beat the Trailblazers that one year.
Had help though.
What's that?
I said he had help though.
Yeah.
He
Right
had
now,
DeMarcus Cousins
yeah.
for most of the season. Still have Rondo and Drew Holiday.
come playoff time though, DeMarcus Cousins was out with that Achilles injury.
Yeah,
But I get it. LeBron was going to be there for 60 some games, so he's going to have that help. They're going to make the playoffs. But if LeBron gets hurt like that again, how well is Anthony Davis going to be able to carry this team right now where it's at? Right now, they're stretched thin, man. They
he's not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry, we've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be able to. And that's one thing that they got to think of. But I just don't see LeBron getting hurt again.
He's old,
That's
man. It's tough to tell when you get older.
Yeah, he's old, but he's a superhuman. We talking about the Warriors breaking down after 5 championships. He went to 9 straight.
And father time catches up with everybody, man. Like that's a lot of time to be playing basketball without a summer off.
Think all that wear and tear on his body from 9 years, 9 straight finals, that's what broke him down more than him being old. Trust me, next year I don't see him getting hurt. Oh yeah, Travis, what you think about this whole situation, man? AD, the Lakers.
I mean,
aftermath.
Well, I will say this: I am working on a video with AD to LA, and it's gonna kind of break down like options for them. So I don't want to kind of go too much in detail because I want people to tune in for that video to drop. But I will say this: I think both teams really won on this trade. You got Anthony Davis where he wants to be at. He's teamed up with LeBron James. They still kept somehow Kyle Kuzma, and then on the Pelican side, they went and got, younger talent. They got, the draft picks. And then, and like J-Mo was saying, like, there's going to be some years where they're going to have double picks. Who doesn't love having, 2 shots?
Yeah, and the Lakers won't be a good team, so those picks will be high.
Yeah, because by that time, well, I mean, depends on how the Lakers. If the Lakers are smart, they won't get like super old guys around like around the LeBron James age. Not saying though he's old, but I mean he's up there in age on top of like with a lot of wear and tear. Like if they're smart, they'll get guys, to where once LeBron leaves, they still have a good core. I mean, yeah, they might not
There's no avenue for that, man. What has LeBron done to all of his team?
That is true.
Like, it's not, trust me, I already know how this is going to go. They probably will win that one chip because next year, Golden State doesn't exist. So, but
and prayers up to
that,
KD
they're done.
Oh, absolutely.
AD has injury issue too. You're going to have a 31-year-old AD? Like, come on.
That is true. That is true.
This is very similar to the Boston Celtics Nets trade. Like, it's going to work out for a year, maybe 2, and then afterwards, you just traded all those picks to New Orleans. They're going to be lottery picks, man.
Yeah, New Orleans is going to be, I mean, they're gonna be such a good basketball team. It's scary.
Yeah, I mean, see,
You have to hold on, Carl, I'll let you go in 30 seconds. You gotta remember, Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball ain't just Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball. They number 2 overall picks. And they both worth it, whether people want to argue that all day. They number 2 picks. So you have 2 number 2 overall picks with another number 1 overall pick. What do y'all think is going to happen? That team is going to be so dominant.
I do want. Hold on 1 second. I do want to. What do you call it? The big take. I do want to say that's not what we're trying to say. LeBron is nowhere near Paul Pierce. Not even in the same breath. LeBron's way better. We're just trying to say is, LeBron's about to be what, 38 years old, and
he might be 30. He might be 34 years old, man. I mean,
34.
Yeah. 35.
Oh yeah, 35. My bad. 35.
Okay, my bad. I stand corrected.
See, LeBron done dominated for so long, man. People think he's 40. That's what you call real domination in these streets.
But I mean,
he's got a hairline like Derek P. Fields. If he's in the chat.
No, but he'll be 35 in December.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean that's also like 9 years straight in the NBA Finals, or and competing at a high level. That's wear and tear. So there's gonna come a time where the NBA is gonna have life after LeBron. We're not trying to disrespect LeBron. I think LeBron's a very
look at this year.
Yeah, so we're not trying to disrespect LeBron. I mean, he's still one of the best in the league today. But go ahead, Carl. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. What I was saying is, it just like Jamal said, if the Lakers were smarter, they could just kept their young talent and LeBron, and they could have maybe waited another year. A year or two, and just
I would have signed Jimmy Butler, not a Chris Middleton. I would have signed Jimmy Butler and Chris Middleton, and had LeBron and this whole young Lakers squad.
Because if you kept the young talent,
and then wait for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, because if you still had the young talent, you would have still had. You would have made a trade. You would still have cap room to make another move. You could just
Ingram. You got Jimmy Butler giving. We know he a 20-point per game scorer. You have LeBron. Yeah. Ingram and Kuzma averaged 19 and 18.
Yeah.
So that's not, you're gonna have scoring, and you have Lonzo, you got his shooting, you got his passing, you got his defense. So you're gonna have that. Maybe Rondo would have still been on the team too. So you would have been able to build a core and still wait for Anthony Davis. Because but they didn't want to do that, of course.
I think part of the reason they didn't want to wait is because they tried waiting for.
But with Golden State going down, they definitely could have won with Jimmy Butler, maybe a Chris Middleton, and the rest of these Lakers.
I just think part of the reason they didn't want to wait to get AD is because they waited for Paul George and got traded to OKC and ended up liking OKC and re-signed there. So I think they were a little bit more aggressive, right, wrong, or indifferent, to go out there and get the guy that they wanted to get to make sure 100% that he got there. They're already working on right now trying to get him a contract extension. Once the trade falls through and it's official, they're going to be working about that right now. But I think that Paul George thing was the deciding factor and go out and pull the trigger on this right away.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that, but I feel like AD is way different than Paul George when it comes to personality-wise. You took Paul George to a place where he actually liked. Before he went to a place he liked. That's not if AD's in Boston or something, and they flame out, I think he'll be out of there pretty quickly. I think Paul George going to OKC is really weird because he went to his kind of place. Yeah. I'm just talking about the place. I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about where he's actually living, and he still goes to LA too. So that helped. That worked out for him. The big take says, I think it will work out. They will get sharp shooters, and this will be Cleveland and Miami all over again. Oh yeah, except he got AD. Hey man, AD is the best player LeBron's ever got. And I just when I hear, because I just say it's hating because I'm being objective about it. So I don't think people understand that you have AD and LeBron James. I don't think people understand that it's just as cheap as KD going to the Warriors, even without a loaded team, because AD is just that good. Top players in the world: LeBron, Kawhi, KD, Giannis, Steph. Then it's literally AD. Then you probably go Harden and maybe Embiid or whoever else you want to put there. But that's literally how it goes, man. That dude is a generational talent.
It's a
Playing
bad
with
man.
LeBron James. LeBron, one thing that a lot of people have always said about him, he's never played with a Shaq. He's never played like with Steph. He never played with a KD. D-Wade was freaking great. We know how great he was, but he ain't Shaq in his prime. Kyrie, don't get us started on how good Kyrie is. We seen it all from him. He did everything. But AD is just a tier above because D-Wade was like 30. Played good for like 3 years, but after that, he broke down. And Kyrie, he's just not as good as AD. But he did hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history, though. Matthew Johnson said we talking about Wade. No, I ain't talking about Wade. Wade is amazing, but you can't compare a 31-year-old Wade or a 30-year-old Wade to a 26-year-old AD. If this was a 26-year-old Wade and he was with LeBron James, oh my goodness. But it's not.
Right. Well, I mean, essentially that would be almost like how it was with Wade and Shaq. Wade and Shaq though, because
right, but on steroids.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Shaq was still giving you 20 and 10, but he wasn't diesel.
Right.
I mean, with young D-Wade and young LeBron, that's like two athletic freaks on one team.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what they have. I mean, LeBron lost some athleticism, but he's still like literally top 5 in the league in athleticism. So, and then you got AD, who's extremely athletic himself.
It's going to be scary to watch, man.
I was just about to say that, Drew. It's about to be it's about to be scary. But I love that.
If neither one of them have a major injury, that's why I was like, I mean, they won in the championship. Like Golden State, it would have been interesting to see them go against Golden State fully loaded, but they're not. They literally just lost Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. So they lost the championship to Kawhi and then got so significantly weaker. There's no way they're winning the championship next year. So they're not even a threat. Now the West is a little bit more open. I'm sorry, but I just don't think any of these West teams know what it's like to face playoff LeBron. They got lucky last year. Because the Blazers went to the Western Conference Finals. You can't tell me that couldn't have been a Lakers. Stop talking to me. Like, that's just a lie. Those are lies. They beat the Nuggets. OKC would have been tough to beat, but they would have beat them. And they beat the young Denver Nuggets. You telling me LeBron can't beat the Denver Nuggets? Come on. So next year, you're going to have the Denver Nuggets. They'll probably be a top 3 seed, I bet. And then you're going to have, who else? OKC, Houston. They not beat. Come on.
You don't have Portland.
Come on, Portland. Like these teams, I just don't see these teams beating playoff LeBron James, and definitely not with playoff AD. No. So I think they could like fill out the roster and just keep everybody healthy and be okay. Just because the best chance of beating them literally is the 3 top teams in the East, the Raptors, the Bucks, and Philly. I think they have a better chance of losing in the finals because the East, top of the East ain't no joke.
I am just glad that AD stayed in the West. AD is a guy who can legit at any given night go off for 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 blocks. Like this dude has it all. He can do whatever you want. He can bring the ball up, pass it. But I mean, he can go off for 40 and 20 any given night. And when you get that kind of player on your team, you have to be a favorite in your conference. I don't care who you are. I mean, the Pelicans were always just that piece away from taking over. They never got it right. They were close with DeMarcus Cousins, but injuries played a factor. This is going to be huge for LeBron. and even bigger for AD playing with a caliber and being under this kind of pressure. AD's never felt this kind of pressure right now. Even the high centers he's had in New Orleans, right now it's championship or bust for the Lakers. I mean, that's the level as a player you want to be held in because there's no higher honor than living up to those expectations and bringing LA a championship. I mean, this could be huge for LeBron's legacy. Like LeBron wants to win it. I'm pretty sure LeBron would be the first player to have 3 championships with 3 different teams. Possibly, if he
Yeah.
plays well in the finals, being a finals MVP, that would be a first. So there's
Yep.
so much pressure on this Lakers team to get there. I don't know if AD is gonna be able to live up to that kind of pressure. Usually, when LeBron goes to a new team and gets the players that he wants, usually it's the second year that they take off and fire on all cylinders. But the thing that's going to be very interesting to me is that those teams always get off to bad. I shouldn't say bad because they're still better than the Pistons, but rougher starts than what they're supposed to be. So it might be a little bit shaky starting off, but come All Star break, they'll be firing on all cylinders and really making that push for whatever seed they're going for. I don't
This is the
know.
difference with this team though is LeBron had like this. I want everybody to understand this. And I know the teams in the East are serious, but LeBron has AD, and there's no KD. If KD was still here, it would be different. But he has AD, and KD is gone.
So it's Clay.
Kawhi is not. It's still there. We know that, but KD's gone. So the guy who was the second best player, or to some people the best player in the world, the guy who's been the official second best player since like 2012, is not in the league right now. And that's the huge thing. Because when he was in the East and he was dominating the East, it's because it was nobody as good as him. And even though LeBron is older, I mean the dude is still a top 3 player no matter what. So you put him with AD, it's just I expect them to win the championship. I would be surprised if they didn't. But I'm more concerned on are they going to win the year after that? Is that going to be his last championship if they win it?
We gotta see what they do. Because right now they don't have a max contract slot, so they can't add someone of a Kawhi or Jimmy Butler, whoever they want.
They need to go get Chris Middleton like now.
That would be a good one, man. To get
He's a perfect fit for
shooter.
LeBron. You go Chris Middleton out of the contract, go get him now. I'll be calling him literally now. And that'd be their little big 3. And Chris Middleton, he's an actual 3-man. He's not like a Kevin Love or a Chris Bosh, guys who are like stars on their own teams. He's a guy that truly can fit in that third role, that Klay Thompson kind of guy. Yeah, they get Chris Middleton. He still got Kuzma. I don't see them getting beat.
You've seen how well an old Ray Allen fit
Right.
LeBron. That'd be kind of the same role he had.
Like only team
this
that can
guy's
beat
gonna be in his
them
prime.
really right now, in my opinion, Raptors and Milwaukee. No other team can beat them right now.
I mean, that's if the Raptors get Kawhi back.
Well, yeah, I think whatever I'll put like whatever team Kawhi going to in Milwaukee, whatever team Kawhi playing for in Milwaukee, that's the biggest threat to the championship.
Jay White wants to see the Lakers get JJ Redick. That wouldn't be a bad move either.
What'd you say?
Said Jay White wants to see the Lakers get JJ Redick.
I thought you were talking about the one that said Melo. No, yeah, JJ Redick is a great move.
They could get both, man.
Yeah, I mean those are solid moves because on a LeBron kind of team, you can waste a roster spot on Melo. I don't even mean to say it like that, but on the LeBron kind of super team is what I mean. You can waste it. I mean, they had Mario Chalmers, bro. Like, come on. Like, they had Norris Cole. Like, you can give Melo a roster spot. Yeah, Iman Shumpert. Like, come on.
And Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers not in the league anymore.
Right, like if they can get a roster spot on LeBron super team, then and this is the thing. Why are the media trying to do that? I don't understand. Why are they trying to make LeBron get another superstar? I don't understand.
Because
when I say I don't
understand,
understand, I literally mean that. Like him and AD, that's more than enough. Why would you need 3 superstars? Golden State is gone. Now, if they were still here, maybe you consider that. Golden State is gone. Why would you need 3 superstars?
Because they have the money to get a third one.
I mean, not necessarily like people think, because I know the Lakers cap situation. People would have to take less money and all this other stuff. But still, why? You don't need another superstar.
Nope.
Like you don't.
I think
No-
part of the
no-
reason. Go ahead.
Noble in the building. Melo
Yeah,
can still ball. Put some respect on his name. Hey, I've always said Melo can still ball, and Pistons should have picked him up. Maybe we'd have won a game, but the big take says he asked the same thing as what I was just saying about why they need a superstar. Yeah, they need role players. Look at the Raptors. Go get you a Danny Green. Go get you a Chris Middleton. Go pick up a JJ Redick. Get you sign JaVale McGee back. Get you a Brook Lopez. Like, fill that roster out with great role players and win with AD and LeBron. It's very simple, but they want this. They get another superstar. I mean, if it's Kyrie Irving and Kawhi are like the only ones, like they go there, they're winning no matter what. But if it's Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker, I gotta see. And I know how good Kemba is, but I gotta see that chemistry. Like Kyrie goes there. I don't know. He's not. He's going to Brooklyn. I've been telling everyone there's no way he's going there. He's going to Brooklyn. But thing is, if he goes there, it's not going to be a chemistry issue. That's why there's no way they could lose, even if they didn't have a team, and it was just them 3. So that's a little bit different with that. But
honestly, they
have a higher chance of winning filling out the roster.
Yeah. They're better off without a third superstar. They just need to fill up. They just need to get some role players.
Okay, but I got a question for you, J-Mo. If it's not going to be Kyrie, what if they make a trade for CP3?
No, they're not going. They can't afford CP3.
Yeah, his contract.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if they would have to offload some contracts and
trust me, they cannot. They can't afford him at all. Like that. That's literally it can't happen. He's making too much.
Yeah, he's making up words.
He's making 38 million. The Lakers got 20-something million. They can't move all that money for CP3. That's not happening at all. I did want to talk about the Pelican side, but let's talk about CP3 before we get to the Pelican side of this. Go ahead, Drew.
So it has been reported, and I am on Twitter right now trying to see if Woj said anything about it, but I cannot find it. But it's reported that CP3 and James Harden are not seeing eye to eye, and the report said it's got pretty heated. It's either me or him kind of situation, and that CP3 has demanded a trade from the Houston Rockets. So with that being said, Troxel, let's start with you. What are you feeling about this? Like J-Mo said in our pregame, J-Mo said that there have been reports that it's not true. Do you believe this, yay or nay? And if so, what's the dealio?
From the reports that I was reading, and they're saying that there was that they weren't even talking anymore, and things like that. I mean, making $38 million, that's really hard to move. I mean, I could see, possibly maybe like a New York Knicks, maybe moving on to. I'm just saying, like, because they got a lot of cap space.
Yeah, but the Knicks have said they're not. They said they're not getting middle and tier superstars with big contracts anymore.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
that's
like,
literally the one thing they're not going to do.
Right. Well, they gotta what do you call it? Actually put together a team. That squad is in shambles.
No, she explains that CP3 makes problems everywhere. Oh, we gonna get to all that.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I hope it's not true. But if it is, Houston got a massive problem on their hands.
Let me say this. I discussed it today in my video. I have discussed it previous videos. CP3 is not coming to Detroit. I don't want to see that in the chat. I don't want to see you guys say Pistons need to go get CP3. Him and Blake Griffin do not like one another. It would not work. He is not the answer. If you guys think we're in trouble salary cap wise, he is not going to fix it. It wouldn't work. So said my piece with that.
And
Carl,
just to reiterate that,
we'll go with J-Mo.
how in the heck would CP3 work here?
Uh,
He's older and worse. Blake older and worse. So now it's gonna work.
I tried explaining this to them.
That makes no sense.
They have thick skulls. They want a guy.
That makes no sense. And Blake Blake isn't necessarily worse, but CP3 is older and worse.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because Blake he changed his game completely. But what this whole thing is CP3, James Harden, they do have problems, but CP3 did not request a trade. I repeat, he did not request a trade. They just having issues because from my perspective, it's a heart thing, man. CP3 like, man, James Harden, you a bum, man. You never show up. You never want to give me the ball. All you want to do is get all your little stats, and we keep losing. I've been sacrificing for you for 2 years, and we keep losing. How do I come to your team and your usage rate go up? That makes no sense. CP3 was yeah.
Did you guys see what Skip Bayless said about this situation?
Not really. I mean, I saw a segment, but I can't really remember what he was saying.
I don't know if this is appropriate or not, Troxel, but I'm going for it. They were on Undisputed or whatever talking about it, and Skip said one of his insider guys from the Houston Rockets. So take that with a grain of salt. We don't know. You guys, I just gotta say it's Skip Bayless, so that's all you should know about that. He said that Chris Paul was in there in practice dogging him, calling him man booby Harden, and Harden started crying and left practice multiple times because he called him man booby Harden. I don't know.
Okay, look. I'm not buying that, but I will buy that CP3 probably bully him in practice, man. Let's just look. I'm not gonna question Harden as a man. I never disrespect him and call him soft or something, but he's not tough. Put it like that. And we see it. It shows in his game and stuff. You know, Chris Paul, he's a dog. He's a rough rider. We know how that dude is. I'm pretty sure some things to that extent were happening, but you know, what point guard would you like the Pistons to target in free agency? Ain't no point guard. Get Terry Rozier.
All right,
But
Carl, we haven't talked to you yet about the situation. You still alive with us?
Oh yeah.
I mean, this situation is true. I mean, it's gonna be hard for the. I don't see how the Houston Rockets could get rid of him anyway. And I also did see reports, just like J-Mo said, that CP3 didn't actually request a trade. That was false. But like it's gonna be hard, especially with that contract though. It'll be different if we're talking about New Orleans Hornets Chris Paul, but we're talking about older Chris Paul. I mean, he's not the same player. He's not worth that however he's making. He ain't worth it. I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Paul is dogging him because I mean, look how they play in the playoff. It's just James Harden. He isolates and he steps back. He either makes or misses it, or he goes to the free throw line, and then Chris Paul just stands there watching him play. I mean, I wouldn't be happy either.
Hashtag facts.
So let me ask you guys this: do you think that if CP3 did call him man booby Harden, do you think Harden maybe goes to the front office and tells him like, "Hey, you need to trade this guy"?
No.
I think Harden. It was reports. I'm not really buying into this, but it was reports. It's a him or me thing, and this is it's funny. This is the worst part about this situation. They can't move either one of y'all, even if y'all hate each other's guts. CP3 just basically signed a $5,000 billion contract. He's getting paid $38 million this year and $41 million next year. Literally, you would have to be like, man, be a team's backroom girl, if you know what I mean. If you think they're gonna take that trade from you, He's not going anywhere, and he can't. They can't move him. That's the worst part about this whole situation. They can't move CP3. It don't matter if they hate each other guts. You can't move him.
Is it you there, Bravo?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
What's up? Our boy Bravo's in the building.
What up, though, Brav?
What up, Bravo?
What's up with you guys?
Nothing, man. Just talking about the CP3. I mean, before we move on with CP3, you can give your take on it if you know what's going on, because there's still some other stuff we got to get to. Bravo.
Yes.
Did you hear me?
Yes. I don't understand the question. So can you hear it say it again?
CP3 and James Harden are having issues,
Yes.
and we were
So-
just talking about that and what was going on with them and their contract situations and them not supposedly not liking each other.
Yeah. I definitely heard multiple rumors about they want to trade CP3 and they want to dump that contract. The other issue is there has been another rumor that the owner of the Rockets regrets saying that he wants to trade CP3 because now the Warriors is just out of the picture right now with those injuries for Durant and Thompson, and they want to keep the unit together right now. But the issue, the damage is already done, so they still want to. There's a fight going on between. There's this argument going on between CP3 and James Harden. I don't know what to make of that, but I mean, I think it's time for the Rockets to start really considering moving on from CP3. And if they can find a package deal for him, I would just do it if I was them.
Man, they gonna end up trading CP3 to Mavericks for a bag of Skittles. Watch. I could literally see that happen. I could see them trading him to, I mean, the Mavericks are a rising team, but Sacramento or something. I could see them just trading him to a bad team, taking the contract. That bad team, you know, they're bad, so they can afford to take that contract. And then they'll just get him some little pieces that'll fit around James Harden. Call it a day, but this is the wrong time to do this. KD, the Warriors are done this year. There is no Warriors this year. You should be trying to win a championship, but you know what? They scared of LeBron and AD. That's what it really is.
Yeah. I wonder which team would be a good fit for CP3. I mean, I think the Celtics would consider him. I think the Raptors also would consider him for Kyle Lowry. I don't know if that's really happening.
Nah, Kyle Lowry is the greatest Raptor of all time. He ain't going.
Yeah. But it's really hard to package CP3 with that huge contract. So
yeah. Like I said earlier before you joined, he's not going anywhere. He's making too much money.
Yeah.
So speaking of bad contracts, there was another big trade today. Really, this has been the talk of Twitter all day, and it's been quiet ever since the trades fall through, rumors-wise. But Mike Conley has been traded to the Utah Jazz. I, for one, am extremely excited that the Pistons did not make this move. Would have not helped them in the long run. He's injury-prone, makes too much money. Reggie Jackson is cheaper and an expiring deal for the long haul. It's better for the Pistons not to do this move. So patiently waiting is the right move for the Pistons. But how are you guys feeling about this Mike Conley deal? Did the Jazz win? Did Memphis win? Did Jazz get better? Bravo, since you're the new guy in, let's go ahead and start with you, man.
Yes, so I think it's definitely a great win for the Memphis Grizzlies. They got good returns in terms of picks for Mike Conley.
Did you say would they trade for him, Drew?
I seen that they traded Allen away, but I didn't get to see the full trade.
I know the full trade. I know it's Grayson Allen. It's Kyle Korver, and there's also the guy who's the tall guy. I forgot his name. Crowder. Yeah,
Jamison Crowder.
Yeah. So and you got a couple of picks. This pick, the 23 pick, and also a future protected first round pick. So definitely the Memphis Grizzlies got a huge return. Wow. I wouldn't never expect they get a couple of first round picks from the Jazz, but they did it. I mean, I can see why. They accepted it immediately, and I think it's just a win for the Memphis Grizzlies. For the Jazz, they need Conley because the West is going to be more competitive. It's definitely a good deal for them, but I think they lost more than they got because it's a huge contract for Mike Conley also. So I'm not sure if that really a great move. What do you guys think?
Well,
Well,
what do you think, Carl?
Okay, I guess
I think
Carl.
I think it's like I think the Jazz get a lot for Mike Conley. I mean, but it wasn't a terrible move at the same time because I think people forget that Mike Conley actually had a pretty good season last year. He actually put up his best statistical numbers ever he's ever produced. Like he had his best, like he averaged the most points per game he ever averaged before. I mean, but and he actually was healthy last year, but nobody brings that up. But
Hashtag facts.
he actually played 70 games last season. But Mike Conley, I think the Jazz needed to get a point guard. It's not a bad move. The only downside to the move is just that you have to pay for that contract, and that contract's gonna hurt. But it's not a terrible move. And the Jazz gave up. They gave up those picks too. I mean, but the Jazz didn't give up too much really. It's just those picks. That's just what does it for me. Just they gave those picks. It kind of hurts them.
Okay. I'll say what I think. I actually think the Jazz won this trade, and only because who did they give away really?
Yeah.
Crowder and 85-year-old Kyle Korver. Like really?
And they gave
I mean, they gave away a first round pick, okay, but it's not a high first round pick. It's not top 15 or anything like that. They also now Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to pass the ball. Like, Rubio took some of the point guard duties, but he just didn't do a good job, and Mitchell ended up having to do everything anyway. And he was getting hurt. You put Mike Conley there now, Mitchell can just go back to his natural position and focus on scoring. It's going to make them a much better team now. They're definitely a playoff team, maybe a 7 seed. But it's definitely going to make their team better now. And that's what I think that was their goal. They needed to step up a little bit. And getting Mike Conley helps them do just that. And now Mike Conley doesn't have to do everything because you have somebody else. Like they got a good backcourt in Utah now. And if we watching the NBA, it's the backcourts that succeed in the NBA, the elite backcourts and the elite small forwards. So they have that now. So I think it's very good for Utah. Memphis got to get rid of Mike Conley and rebuild, but now they can get Ja Morant. That's good for them too, but they didn't really get. I mean, they didn't get any play. All them players are irrelevant. That's my point.
Trav.
Well, Mike Conley is 31 years old. He played in 12 seasons, 758 games out of 788 games. And the Jazz legitimately has a starting five that's actually, in my eyes, could be between the 3rd seed and the 6th seed.
I don't know.
I don't know about 3rd seed, bro.
Because the Blazers are always a good regular season team. They'll be a top 4 seed. OKC.
Absolutely.
Denver might be the number 1 seed. I'm picking them to be the number 1 seed, low key, because they're getting Michael Porter Jr. back. It's over. So, and then the Lakers are going to be up there too. And then then that's when you have the Spurs and the Jazz after that, is what I'm saying. And then the Clippers, we don't know if Kawhi goes to the Clippers, that automatically makes them a top team. That's why I said like 7 to 6 area, because and Golden State will make the playoffs too. Let's not forget. They're not nearly as good as they was. They'll still make the playoffs.
See, but if I don't know, like for them, I think this gives them a perfect opportunity because they are down Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant for a full year. For them to actually, let's invest in the draft. Let's invest in, any way that we can. And because we have an unknown of are these guys going to return to to
Yeah,
even
but-
half of what they were.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. And this comes from a person who's not a fan of Steph. They got Steph Curry.
Oh.
Steph Curry in the regular season
absolutely.
is untouchable, bro.
Oh,
In
absolutely.
the playoffs, different story. But they're making the playoffs. He's too good. Unless he gets hurt for like 30 games, he's just too good. They making the playoffs with ease. Like he might go back to MVP mode, like for real. They gonna win some games, and they still have Draymond Green.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah,
not
but
a super team. They mortal. They just a run of the mill. Your Celtics from this year kind of team. Your Brooklyn Nets Clippers kind of team, but they definitely making the playoffs. I don't think they're gonna try to pack it in at all.
Because you got to also stop and think about it, though. You're getting in Dallas, you're getting Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, and then so I mean, there's going to be a lot of competition out there in the West.
Yeah, the Pelicans, I got them making the playoffs. So if they stay healthy, so it's gonna be tough. But the West is always like that too. Like it's gonna be tough, but the West is always like that.
I mean, but what was the Jazz ranked this year? They were
They made the playoffs.
well,
Didn't
yeah.
they?
I'm saying what seed? Hold on one second.
They
Let
played
me
the
fact check that.
Rockets, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think so.
So that means they were a 5th seed.
Yeah, but I mean, you're getting a scorer and a floor general with
Conley.
with Conley.
I see people
and
in the
it's an
chat talking
upgrade,
about. Go ahead.
and it's an upgrade over Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, but the one thing I want to dwell on before I say this, Benji said we should try for D'Angelo Russell if Kyrie going to Brooklyn. Trust me, Kyrie's going to Brooklyn. We get D'Angelo Russell would be a miracle, but we should definitely try to trade for him. Definitely. If Luke Kennard gotta go, and y'all know I love Luke Kennard, I love him. You can go get D'Angelo Russell by any means necessary. But you got to remember, certain teams didn't make the playoffs last year. LeBron didn't make the playoffs, so that's an extra spot now. So that bumps certain teams down. Kawhi Leonard comes, that's going to bump another team down. Like I said, Golden State is still going to make it, and then you have OKC's going to make it. The Blazers are going to make it. Nuggets are going to make it, and the Spurs are going to make it. That's like 7 teams already.
Okay,
And the only team out of the team I named, I see them being better than, and then Houston is going to make it. Like, so one of these teams might not, but the only team I see them better than, even with Rubio, is the what was the team? I don't know. The Spurs. That's why I had them at 7.
See, this was this year's playoff. Okay, first
like the
Warriors,
West wasn't as good last year as people really think. But
I know, but like it was the first team was the first seed was Warriors, then the Nuggets, then the Trailblazers, then the Rockets, the Jazz, the Thunder, the Spurs, and the Clippers. Okay, one of them team are gonna go out because the Lakers are gonna obviously be better. And the Jazz were already the 5th seed. I have them at least climbing up one more spot, with the Rockets, because I think the Rockets actually just might, miss the playoffs if their, animosity is still there when it's all said and done. That's when 2 of your best players are not on the same page.
Dude, without Chris Paul, the Rockets making the playoffs. Do you forget what James Harden was doing?
Yeah,
He can do that. He can do that again this year without CP3 by himself. I mean, like you got to remember, some of these guys are regular season guys. That's why they will make the playoffs.
I mean, and Chris Paul was hurt a lot of that season, bro. I think that's what people forget.
Yeah, he only played like 50 something games. I mean, look, that's how you feel. The Jazz make a top 4 seed. I'm with you on that. It's just the Lakers are gonna be there. If Kawhi if Kawhi goes, then the Clippers are definitely gonna be there now. And they're not just gonna be an 8 seed. They're gonna be a top 4 seed. There's no way the Denver Nuggets will not be a top 4 seed next year. They're too good for the regular season. They're built. That's a good team. Like they might be the number 1 seed. So you got the Lakers for sure, the Clippers maybe for sure, and then you got the Nuggets for sure. Blazers, they've been the 3 seed like 3 years in a row. We got to give them some respect. They just went to the Western Conference Final. Absolutely. Now you got them too. And then that's when you have Houston with James Harden going MVP mode and Golden State with Steph Curry going MVP mode. And then I will put the Jazz after that. That if you see my logic.
I mean, I fully see it. It's just, it's kind of almost like the LeBron James effect, And
I forgot about OKC too. Like, dang, there's no way OKC not making the playoff. Like, I'm telling you, the West is going to be much harder than it was this past year, even without Golden State being a superpower.
Absolutely,
especially if Kawhi comes, they could miss the playoffs.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. I don't see Kawhi leaving. Why is he going to leave a championship team?
Because he can get another ring on the Clippers. I'm being 100 with you when I say that.
Right. I mean, anywhere he goes, he can go. I
mean, that Clippers roster with Kawhi Leonard, bruh, they beat Golden State twice with Kevin Durant.
Yeah. No, I'm not
saying.
You just
add Kawhi to that team, they probably win a championship this year.
Right. No, I'm not saying like they like if he goes out west to he wouldn't win another ring, but I mean just saying like he knows that he has a ring, in Toronto, and he can be the man of a whole country. I mean, they're talking about putting this man on,
people want to
currency.
go home and stuff. But like I would agree with you. I don't think he's leaving the Raptors. Because the thing about it is it's just smart to just stay at least 1 year. At least one more year, see if you can get another one. But like I said, you can go straight to the Clippers and win, and that's your home.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's why he is still a very high chance of him going. Even though we veered off, Drew, what do you think about Kawhi? Would he go before we get to this Pistons talk? Would he go? You think he would go to the Clippers, considering how good their team already is with Doc Rivers?
I think it's 50-50 he stays and leaves. Kawhi Leonard's not going to be a guy you're going to get very much information out of. I mean, this celebration thing.
When he mocked his laugh, I literally died. I'm like Kawhi, man. You getting up on GOAT status now, bro. Don't do that, bro. Like that was a GOAT moment right there. Like, yeah, I'm the dynasty killer. I'm like, no, Kawhi.
Any man who sounds like that, I cannot predict their future. Like, there's no insight. I got nothing, man. I think it's 50-50. Like he's wanted to go in LA, but the thing that's so unique about it is he has a whole entire country behind him that loves and supports him. And he has to be in 1 year playing for the Toronto Raptors, one of the best and one of the most important Raptors, maybe besides Vince Carter of all time. Because when you think about the Raptors, you think about Vince Carter, but in 1 year,
I think about Chris Bosh.
One for the entire country of Canada than their whole franchise. So, I mean, the people there love him. They want him to stay. That's a lot of pressure to say no, not just to a city, not just to a state. I guess it's a province in Canada, but an entire country. That's a lot of pressure, man. I don't know.
I understand everything you're saying, but if he leaves, the Raptors can't say anything. And I think because that's true, that kind of takes away from it a bit, because LeBron leaving Cleveland, did any Cleveland fans say anything? Nope. They was quiet. Why? You won them a championship. He can lead the Raptors. The Raptors fans would be like, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Like, and when you think about that it adds into it too. I just think Kawhi, I'm telling you, man, the reason why he might stay, even though I said what I said, getting to the mountaintop and literally being the king of the NBA, that'll make you stay for another year, bro. Trust me.
I mean, this is 1 year put him in the conversation
Okay,
of being the
so
best player.
let's move on to some Pistons draft talk.
Well, before we do
I know
that,
everybody in the chat. That's all y'all been talking about.
I want to give a shout out to Dave and Juice. I seen him do this. I want to talk about this before we talk about the draft because I kind of want to wrap up talking about the draft. But I seen them talk about this on Twitter that Drummond might not opt into his player option next year. I mean, with all the criticism that he gets from this fan base, it's very likely that he might not want to stay here. If this is true, what should the Pistons do? Do they try
Move him now? I want to get him off the team, man. I'm sick of him.
Well,
And
he
I love Drummond, but I
It's all
just.
speculation.
But let's be honest, everybody's sitting here talking right now. Does Andre Drummond want to stay in a Piston?
I mean, from my personal experience going to Game 3 of the playoffs, and the entire arena standing up and booing him, I don't see how he wanted to stay here. If I was him, I would not want to be here after that. He did.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me.
I'm not knocking the boos, but when your home fans stand on their feet to boo you, that's tough.
Yeah, and the thing is, I would love to keep Drummond because I love his talent, but sometimes two places just don't mesh. And I think we're at that. We got Blake Griffin, man. Like we can move you and get something. I would love to trade him to a team like the Atlanta Hawks who need a center and get their first round picks. Like basically give them our 15th pick and then we take the 10th and the 8th pick. We trade up, you know, they get the 10th and the 8th and maybe get one of their young players and do it because one missing piece from that team is a center. Andre Drummond with Trae Young will be magic. Just move him. Like it's just too much now. Because I don't want, like I said, talent wise, I don't want him to leave. But everything else, he should be gone.
If we do trade him, I do not want him to be in the East. If I trade him, he's going West.
I can care less about that. I'm trying to get the most assets. 2 first-round picks, 8 and 10. I mean, we draft. We can actually get a point guard. We can get, if you Kobe White, if you want him, Darius Garland, then you get Bobo too, or Sekou Doumbouya too. Like then we could get what we actually need. And I know me and Trav, we love Carson Edwards and Cam Johnson, but if you pick at 8 and 10, you get your Cam Reddish. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the
Right,
talent
absolutely.
level that we could get, like going to Atlanta. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not. And I just know that they really need a center. They're going to draft a center and probably Cam Reddish.
I feel.
What you think about this, Travis? Mr. Troxel Sports Talk. And make sure you guys, we will do the draft show tomorrow on his channel. So if you want to see us talk about the draft, make sure you're on his channel at 6:30 and just drop your name in the chat so they know to subscribe to you so they can watch the show, Travis.
You know what? I would actually hold off on trading him, but get offers. Like look at offers. It never hurts to just call around. And I mean, if a team, pulls off as something like an Anthony Davis deal, I mean, where you get a nice group of guys back in return, I might actually make that trade then. But I don't want to lose.
I know you're saying hold off, but he's not signing back with us, so we have to move.
Well, the only thing different about it, we can offer him the most money out of anybody since we draft him, so he can get.
We're not doing that.
I'm just saying that's something that he's considering.
Absolutely.
As Andre Drummond, I don't know how much he's ready to win rings.
Isn't he already the most high paid center?
I don't know.
Yeah, he has the biggest contract for center right now.
soon to be that'll be Joel Embiid whenever his contract's up.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
there's no way we paying him. That is not happening.
If not,
I
I
mean-
think the Knicks will. He's from New York. I think he wants to go to New York and play.
Ooh, I like that.
I think that they will strongly
Send
consider
Horn
him. And I think right now the Knicks are going to be desperate because right now every target that they've gone after has been led astray by either injuries or luck of the lottery. They might be a little bit desperate here to give up a little something extra to get it.
I just remembered though they got Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, that'd be a good backup center for that'd be perfect backup for.
No, that dude's not a backup. Trust me.
Right now, though, right now he'd be perfect. I don't think he's ready to start yet. A couple seasons,
No,
maybe.
I completely
under
agree.
Trey.
When you
Just,
have
you know-
more blocks than anybody ever in a rookie season, you ready to start.
I watched him play against this dude, and those alley oops he were catching were vicious, dude. This dude's going to be crazy in a few years. I just don't know. I didn't see enough from him outside the alley oops offensively to be a starter yet. The defense,
What did you see from Andre Drummond his first year?
he didn't start.
Right, this is going to be Mitchell Robinson's second year. Like he's definitely ready. Man, that dude is a force. He's
Plus, we
just as
also
good
had
as
Trey
Jarrett
Monroe.
Allen. Jarrett Allen is starting in Brooklyn. And he's
We never let Travis talk though.
wait, hold on. Nomis is in the building.
What up, though? No.
What's going on? What's going on? I was wondering when y'all was gonna realize I was in here. Sorry, I'm late.
All right, go ahead, Travis.
Okay, Noble said Dennis Smith would be a nice piece for the Pistons.
I love Dennis Smith,
You
man.
know, I do too. I actually wanted the Pistons to try to, talk to Dallas before they made the trade over with the Knicks, but
Me too.
they offer Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, we ain't got nothing to top that.
Right.
He's like the second coming of Dirk and Dirk's last year. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, man, I'm a big Dennis Smith fan.
Oh,
I just don't
absolutely.
think
I
the
am
Knicks
too.
would do it now because I remember they got Mitchell Robinson. I mean, they've been bringing in every Hall of Famer they can think of just to work with him to get him better. They really invested in him. They don't need Drummond.
True.
I think Boston might be a key factor to go after
Oh,
him too.
I like that. Horford leaving? Yeah, you talking to me now, Drew.
I mean, there's a market for him, man.
I mean, give me Jaylen Brown and Terry Rozier. Yes. Yes. And give me y'all pick. Yes. I'm down with that.
Sorry, I'm
I
back.
can do that. Because I know they ain't going to give up Tatum.
No doubt.
Hey y'all.
Sorry, I'm back. I am back right now. Sorry, I was away.
All right, man.
Trax, did you ever get to talk, man?
Permission to go off topic for a quick second.
No, hold on, man. Travis. Yeah, he just said something. I was just talking to him. I was responding to what he said.
He tried to say like 5 things. We just kept keeping him, like silent, man. He never got to say what he wanted to say.
I mean, there is going to be a market for him, but I would wait to get the best value. Like, that's why I said, like, take feelers out there, see what's getting offered. But I would definitely hold on to him until I know, like, okay, this is probably going to be like the best offer we're going to see, and then jump on something.
Yeah, because he could have another breakout season that will buy him getting traded. And teams will be like, "Ooh, I want him."
Exactly, and they're going to try to put at least some sort of value, top value to it. Maybe we get 3 or 4 draft picks out of him, and or something, like an expiring contract just to make it through that year, and then you got 3 or 4 draft picks, and you can start putting some talent around to where Dwayne Casey can actually start having his own team.
Yeah, and before we get to Nomis, I wanted to say I don't want to trade Drummond, but I know this fit is not going to work. We're not going to pay him the super max or whatever. And we're not gonna and he doesn't want to be here. And this is known. Like the writing, if the writing, I done seen too many situations to know the writing's on the wall. So we have to move him because he's not going to be here. That's the point. That's the whole point that I want all Pistons fans to know. He's either gonna leave in free agency if we don't trade him, or we trade him. It's just gonna happen. It's just the way that it is now. What Drew was talking about on him getting like I've never heard of fans standing up on their feet to boo you in a playoff game at home.
It was
downtown.
crazy.
Like that's a next level hate. I don't even know if fans hate Stafford that much, and they hate him. Like that's a new level of hate. He's not coming back. Okay, no.
Real quick, I like what Eric said in the chat. He said if Gores lets Stefanski trade Drummond, and that is the big if, because at the end of the day, Drummond is Gores' homeboy. That's like his son. So that's
true.
Big. Go ahead now.
Oh, well, as far as that topic, I was going to say, when the time comes, I guess we'll just see what happens with it. At the end of the day, we have to make sure if we do trade, we got to make sure it's worthwhile. I don't want to just trading for something that could be. I need something that has a little proof to it, if you get my point. If that comes out to it.
Well, draft picks I'll take draft picks in this year's draft.
I'm quite sure you would, J-Mo.
I think they got what three or four draft picks.
But I was gonna say, I asked y'all a quick question. I said, have I have permission to go off topic for a quick second? It's not crazy important, but I just found it funny. On the football side of things, that a certain tight end just got waived for filling the physical again.
Oh yeah, he's garbage. Michael Roberts, you're the definition of trash. You and Connor Cook have won the trash awards for Detroit sports for this year. Let's be honest. But back to basketball, Bravo.
Yeah.
What do you think about the situation we're talking about now?
What is it exactly about?
Andre Drummond and what should we do with him? Because it's apparent that he doesn't want to be here. And I know the Pistons are not going to offer him a max contract.
Yeah. So it's really hard to know at this point in terms of Andre Drummond, but I would definitely consider trading him away. The reason why I say this, it's the new season, it's a new era of the NBA. Center, this is my theory. Centers, even great centers, they shouldn't be get paid this amount of money, especially if they're centers who do not shoot the ball. Dre is not a center who shoots the ball. Some people like Lopez, AD, Horford, these centers can shoot the ball. Dre cannot, even if he's the best rebounder of the game. My only problem with him is he's getting paid this amount of money, and we should be careful about giving him the money with this amount of contract. So, I mean, in terms of trading him away, I'm actually started to feel like we should go ahead and consider trading him away, because we could return good value for him. And I would take any centers at this point who can just do 10 rebounds a game over a guy who give me 20 rebounds, but not adding much huge difference to the game for us. So it all depends on the kind of offer we get for him. If we're getting good returns in terms of picks, I'd go ahead and move him. If we're not getting good return, I'd just keep him for one more season at least.
Here's the thing. This is coming in from Ryan Field on Twitter. His handle is Ryan Field ABC. He is verified, so it is a legit account. He says that next season, if the Pistons do absolutely nothing, we'll have approximately $44 million coming off the books. Plus, they are projecting the salary cap to go up $9 million. So that's going to be roughly around $50 million. However, it's going to go up. So he says if Andre Drummond does not opt in and he does opt out, we will have approximately $73 million. So with the $9 million coming up from the cap going up, it's going to be roughly around $80 million to spend. Wow. So this is going to be a huge.
You rounded that up a lot. 73. You rounded up to 75. You went all the way to 8.
Well, with that's what's with the $9 million increase.
No, I already added that to it when you was talking. That's very interesting. Okay, so wait, if he opts out, we can't trade for him.
Yeah.
I mean, we
if he
can't
opts
trade
out,
him.
he's an unrestricted free agent. He can go wherever he
Yeah,
wants. He
see.
can do no harm.
Oh man, that's because
I think
look,
he's gonna
if
decline.
we trade
I think he
him,
might
then his contract is still off the books.
Yeah.
So it's better to do that.
It's just the whole thing. If they want to keep Drummond or not. If they don't, you get a bunch of money. If not, you get a bunch of money, but a lot less money.
I mean, I was about to say, if you trade him, you get a bunch of money, and you could potentially get like I said, a Jaylen Brown, a Terry Rozier. Like you could end up getting hydrated. You could end up getting a star in return for him. It just depends on how you go about it. And I saw in the chat people were saying like, "What would y'all react if we traded Blake? What about trading Blake?" Look, if I could, I'd trade both of them and have our books clean and pick up and be like the Clippers, basically, and try to win that way. Because that's the Pistons. You know, the Clippers trying to copy us with their colors and there are no championships, but you'll never get. But they were right, but they were kind of like a Pistons team last year with Patrick Beverly and like we know Patrick Beverly's a Piston type player. Like we move a lot of contracts around, pick up the Morris twins, maybe get somebody to come here, pick up a good point guard like D'Angelo Russell. Like we can move these contracts and then rebuild the team in like 2 years and be in a much better position with a lot of because this is not like we haven't really been picking high. We've been picking mid. So we would have multiple high draft picks, at least 2 players that actually can help our team be better. And we still have some building blocks. Your Luke Kennards, your Bruce Browns. Like Luke Kennard is an addition on any team in the NBA because of his shooting ability. So we could really move in both of them. I'm not playing favorites. We can move both of them and turn this team into a really great situation. But if you want to keep one star, we know Blake Griffin want to be here. The man was playing in a wheelchair. So so and the fans, even if it's wrong, the fans love Blake Griffin. Boy, man, Blake was playing with a full leg cast. Like that's what I think. Like it was just like I said, I would rather Drummond stays, but I just don't think he's gonna stay.
Yeah.
All right,
Carl, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I had to eat. My bad.
All right, man. No, it's all good, man. Handle your business. So you heard what we were talking about? Do I need to refresh you?
Yeah, I heard just what you're talking about. Here's my opinion. If the Pistons are confident that Andre Drummond is gonna leave, to me we should trade him this year. Like if they feel confident he's gonna opt out, because like you get value out of him and you get cap space in return, and you can get maybe maybe a mid-level star or some good role players. That's why I say if they're confident he's gonna opt out, they should just trade for him this year. That's how I feel.
I've seen in the comments it's saying basically the Pistons are not a free agent destination. So if we traded Blake and Dre, we wouldn't be able to get nothing in return. Now you might be right, but we can get some mid-tier guys. And my point is, if we're trading those guys, we getting top 10 picks and we getting a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And I trust this new front office, not the old one with SVG. I trust this new front office to get us a lot of good lottery picks. Like, this is very far-fetched. Like, it's going to be a lot of great players coming out next year. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we get another great power forward next year. Now, we got that power forward because of these trades. We got that power forward this year. We get Kobe White and Cam Reddish. And then we get somebody else in free agency, like a Marcus Morris or somebody, or Terry Rozier with another type of situation. Y'all see where I'm going with this. You can rebuild your team that way.
Yeah.
And one thing about the Pistons, us having a lot of cap space is nothing but an advantage because I know Dwayne Casey. I'm saying it again, I know Dwayne Casey. He don't need no super team or star-studded team to make the playoffs and to attract free agents. All we have to do is that.
I got a idea why you're talking about that because it just clicked in my head. Real quick, I don't know how many Harry Potter fans we got in here, but SVG is like saying Voldemort's name. You don't do it.
It's two names in Lion Sports we don't say. That old offensive coordinator for the football team
KFC.
and KFC, and we don't say Stan Van, dummy.
But my real point was, I think this is different. I think a lot of players around the league respect Dwayne Casey and wouldn't mind playing for him because he is a player's coach. Like, he's not Stan Van Gundy. He's not going to be yelling at you and sounding like a moron on national television. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. He's very player friendly. I think that it is very tough to get free agents here in Detroit. But we have a culture. We have 3 championships, 2 different teams that have won it. We have one of the best coaches in the league. I think a lot of players, seriously, if we free up the cap space, would really consider coming to Detroit and really trying to reestablish that bad boy identity, going to work identity, and trying to make their own team here in Detroit and want to play for a winner is very possible.
Yeah, what happens if DeRozan becomes a free agent? He might come here.
I don't want DeRozan.
He's a good player, man. He's a building block.
I guess if you wanted
Like,
to
you can't, like, the guy's a
now,
24-point per game scorer, can play defense. He's just not a star.
yeah,
Like, you can't judge people that he was never a superstar. He's a third player on the championship team. That's what he
my whole
is.
point with him was I didn't want him right now. He doesn't fit with
No,
us
I said
right
when
now.
he's a free agent.
Yeah.
He's
I
not going to be
guess-
a free agent for a
if
few
you're,
years.
if you're going to trade Blake and Dre and start over, I think that would make a better sense if the Dwayne Casey guy. Just the only problem with him right now is he can't shoot. That's the only knock I have on him, and he's not clutch in big game situations. So that's.
I mean,
that's,
hey, he ain't playing with 2 superstars. He's
yeah.
playing with LaMarcus Aldridge and Kyle Lowry.
But if you rebuild with Dwayne Casey and give up Blake and Dre, he's not going to have 2 superstars right away.
It's really hard to
Yeah,
know.
but by that time, our draft picks could have developed because it's just a few players in this draft that I really believe will be stars. And if we could get 2 of them and something else while trading Andre Drummond, that would just be great. Go ahead, Bravo.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to really see Drummond out of this contract. He indicated he might. But
Oh, you breaking up right now?
so I mean, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know if Drummond is really gonna opt out of his contract. I mean, it's hard to know at this point. He might stay, and I think we can continue building with him. But all I'm saying, we shouldn't really trade in him unless we get a good return value for Drummond, and that's the only way we can look at it.
Do you think getting Atlanta's 8th pick and trading the 10th pick and maybe getting like a Kenneth Bazemore or somebody else from their team is a good trade?
Of course.
Like, okay, that's what I'm trying to do because I know they need a center. They need that building block. And then at 15, they can still get the other player that they need this year. It just won't be as good. Well, maybe.
Yeah, it's really if we can get him like shipped out for any potential star player. I'd consider trading him for any other contract, but it all depends on what kind of return we're getting. The picks are ideal. The best day we can do is the picks, but I don't know if teams would be willing to offer us picks.
No, because
I mean, if Drummond balls out and by the trade deadline, he's putting up 22 and 18.
Exactly.
They might give us those picks.
Exactly. But I'm talking about this year's picks. I don't think we're going to be able to trade him this year for picks. We never know. We'll see. Nam, go for it.
Oh, well, I was going to say, regardless of the situation, I don't think any team wants to give us picks unless they're going to be in a better situation. I don't think that if we try to trade them, they're going to try to give us a player for them, and it's going to be somebody that's going to try either stiff up our salary cap even more than he is, or they're going to force us to get a player that may not be as valuable, and then we may end up getting the Pistons. The Pistons are not, to me, the team I like when it comes to trading, because they seem to, I don't know, maybe because that one trade, but it's like we've been losing a lot of trades in certain ways, man. Like I know it's like kind of old regime, so I'm still trying to get a new one that I haven't really seen.
I was just gonna say,
outside
just like with the
Stanley.
Lions, man, it's a different regime now,
Yeah, but see, thing is, with
and this is a
them, though,
regime that they actually have built teams.
yeah, but see, here's the thing though. The thing is that like, okay, when you look at the Stanley Johnson trade for Don Maker, it was really swapping a player that we were struggling to develop for a player that they were struggling to develop, and then they ended up trading him, of course. And we,
I like that trade.
I know a lot of people liked that trade, and like they traded for Sweet Mikhail. Didn't use. It's just I never liked.
That was a great trade too.
Yeah, that was a
Great
great,
trade. Very
that was a
great
great
trade.
trade. But the only reason why it went great is because they didn't play him, and that's what was like. Why do that? If you trade a player away that was at least doing some production, you're supposed to replace him with the player you're getting back and have him be productive. And I just think this is all weird.
He got injured though, so once he had an opportunity to play after proving himself in the G League, he never should have been down there. Y'all know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
But after that, then he hurt his finger,
right,
and then they just shut him down. But that was getting his fee. That was in a second round. Oh no, that was a great for Reggie Bullock. Oh, that was a great trade.
Yeah, that was a great trade. It's just this team is weird when it comes to trading. I had to wait to see more detail into it before I just give my full.
I think just that if the old team, if the new regime trades like Blake or Andre something big, then we can judge. But going by what they've done, they've been solid.
But I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I still gotta wait to see on the organization part. But yeah, like we'll know tomorrow when we see what happens in the draft for how they cooperate. Because that was to me a smart trade, find a way to get 2 draft picks. Actually, I said, okay, I'll give him credit for that one. I said, okay, didn't have nothing but a second round pick. Turned around, got 2 for the price of no first round. I said, okay, that's a good deal. We'll see.
And speaking of the draft is tomorrow, and once again, on Troxel Sports Talks channel, Travis, drop something in the comment section so they can check you out. We will be going live during the NBA draft at 6:30 sharp. Do not miss it. We'll all be there. Special guests, Noble Sports Entertainment. He's been in the chat. And
Everything King still join us?
I don't know, Trav.
I don't know.
Well, he's supposed to be joining us as well, so it's you're gonna have a lot of people there.
But let's go ahead and try to wrap this thing up with our final predictions for the Detroit Pistons going into tomorrow night. Me personally, I think all signs of trading back just from their scouting report. Unless they're trying to be sneaky, I think they might trade away their 15th overall pick and move down a couple spots. But as of the last 2 days, they have started to work out some more, I guess, projected people at 15. But for the most part, most of their scouting reports have come back. The guys who are supposed to be falling back later in the first round and early second round talent.
Who did they work out?
For what? What
you said they were working out some people projected at 15. Who?
Yes.
Yes. I've seen it. Someone commented down on my video the other day.
So I know. I can tell you who
they had a private workout.
Go out, Bravo. Let us know who they worked out.
So they did work out Goga Bitadze, the Georgian center, who's supposed to be like one of the best European players coming. Also, they did work out Brandon Clark of the Gonzaga, who's a really good player too. They did also work out Keldon Johnson.
Brown Jr.
Who they worked out? Keldon Johnson?
Yes,
I
Johnson.
love that.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's who I saw was Keldon Johnson.
Can I say something real quick? Fun fact. I did a video last night on Brandon Clark people. So if you guys want to check that video out,
it's a great video.
At the end of the show, Nomis. Oh my goodness.
End of the show. That's what I mean.
But I shout out for Nomis. It's a good video for Brandon Clark. Go check it out.
I like what I'm hearing for that. Go ahead, Drew. We just had to find out who they worked out.
Yeah, it was crazy. People were telling me in the comments, and I read a bunch of stuff on Twitter, so it's all messed up. But all signs are pointing that they're trading back. So I will not be surprised if they do make a trade, unless they are trying to be sneaky. Which really in basketball, it's not like football. Like pretty much everyone knows who they're going to take in the first 8 picks. I would say. I think that team knows who they want. I don't see any reason for the Pistons to try to be sneaky. But that's my opinion. I don't know which one you guys want to go first if you want to volunteer. But to end the show, what do you guys think the Pistons' game plan going in tomorrow night should be or will be?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I want the Pistons to trade back. Trade the 15th overall pick, possibly either another first, where it's highly protected in the lottery, and get the Spurs 19th and 29th picks. And if we can do that and keep our 45th pick, we can bring in essentially 3 good players. One can start, one can, until you can figure out where Reggie Jackson's going to be at, can back him up and develop. And if Reggie goes down, he's the automatic starter, hands down. And them two are what do you call it? Cameron Johnson and Carson Edwards. I was a big doubter of Carson Edwards, and I really did a deep dive into his game. And when I seen it, first person I went to go see was 313 JMO, and shout out to him because that dude is a beast.
Yeah.
But that's
go
what I
ahead,
would love
Bravo.
to do.
Bravo.
Let's go with you guys first.
All right, Carl, you can go ahead.
What I want him to do, I just want him to get I just want to get a player that I want him to get a point guard. You know, I just want him to get a good point guard and maybe a forward, probably a small forward in the second round. Because I just want him to just get another guy who can score and distribute the ball. Because I'm tired of a power forward just taking control of the playmaking and scoring. We need somebody that can we just need a guard that can dish the ball and score. I think Carson Edwards could be a good guy for that role. And I also mind maybe picking up a Cam Johnson maybe in the second round. Wouldn't mind that either.
He's not making it. He ain't making past 20.
He's not falling, but I mean, I also wouldn't mind trading back. Maybe get like two pretty good players that we can develop. Wouldn't mind that either.
All right, Nomis.
All right. I don't mind when it comes to the whole trading thing. You know, it is what it is, as long as they don't do anything crazy. As far as on both ends, we know we need some backups. We know we need a small forward. We know we still need help at the point guard position. Comes to the small forward position, I would like to see them get somebody that can develop like a Clark personally because of his defense that I really like and how he's, you know, really one of those dirty kind of players when it comes to play. You know, not playing dirty like, oh, he tries to hurt people. I mean, like,
It's called gritty, not dirty. You did not have to say dirty. Oh my goodness.
You know, I mean, when it comes to getting his hands dirty, that's what I mean, J-Mo. Calm down. As far as a point guard, if Carson Edwards or somebody's not there, I do like a guy named Barry Brown Jr., who we also had in that workout. I really would like to have a guy like him if we did miss out on Carson Edwards. So that's just how I feel about it.
Bravo, you ready?
Yes, I can go. So there's a couple of ways I look at it. If we are not hitting on those two players, Sekou Doumbouya or Kevin Porter Jr., I'm considering the trade. These are the two guys I really want on the Pistons. I mean, these are the two guys I think they have star potentials out of the 15 overall pick, close to that range. I mean, Sekou could really drop by some miracle. I don't know. If we're not getting any of those at the 15, I would definitely consider either trading up or trading down. Trading up is going to be really tricky because I don't know which team is going to offer us Sekou. in return. Trading down is interesting because depends on what we're getting. So, I mean, I like the idea of Truxell point. We can trade for the Spurs or maybe even for the Philly pick and get like a couple of their second rounders. But I don't know if that's going to really do it. So, I mean, ideally, I'd pick up a player, Kevin Porter or Sekou Doumbouya. If they're not available, it's really going to be tough to pick. I have seen us going with the route of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Some people talking about Brandon Clark. Some people talking about P.J. Washington. And even I heard people talking about most common two people are Romeo Langford and Nasir Little. I don't think they're going to do it for us. I'd rather trade down if we're not finding any Kevin Porter Jr. or Sekou Doumbouya at that 15th spot.
Okay. As you all know, or just in case you don't know, if you all knew, I'm 313 J-Mo, and I'm the president of the Carson Edwards fan club. Now, I mean, like with Trav, I mean, look, I just have to go over the stats again. Most 3-pointers in NCAA history. Most points through 4 games in NCAA history. Only player with back-to-back 42-point games. 42 points. And these weren't against scrub teams. This was against Villanova, the previous champs, and against Virginia.
The current
Back-to-back 42 points games. In the regular season, he was all Big Ten average, 25 points a game. I don't need to say anything else. Great player, great shooter off the dribble. So I would love to have Carson Edwards, but I don't have a problem with drafting Bobo, Kevin Porter Jr., Sekou Doumbouya, or even Keldon Johnson at 15. Like, I would take Keldon Johnson at 15. Yeah. Keldon Johnson can play all three positions. Right. He can play small forward because he's 6'6" and he's long. He can play small forward. He can play 2 guard. He can play the point guard. Keldon, and he plays defense. So Keldon Johnson, if we look in the field, every need in one swoop, he would be it, right? Because he can play small forward and he can play guard. He's both. He's a combo guard is what they call him, but he's a tall combo guard, and with some small forwards in the league, he can play small forward. Like, I don't have to defend that. We know he can play small forward in the NBA, and he can shoot the ball. He's a great shooter. He has a nice floater. He has a nice patience to his game. He has nice burst. Like, I would take Keldon Johnson at 15 without a doubt, even over maybe, I'm not Sekou, but over Kevin Porter, just because he plays defense and he can shoot the 3 ball really well, and he has that height, that versatility. Like, he'd be a great pick for us. But I'm gonna go back to what Trav said about trading with the Spurs, and I think that's the best route to go. Trade down with the Spurs, get Carson Edwards and Cam Johnson, and call it a day and be happy with the greatness that you've got. I just think Carson Edwards, unless he has a significant injury, he will be a star. Like, you heard it here first. That dude guaranteed will be a star. But if we stay at 15, Sekou or Keldon Johnson or Bobo. I know people have whatever they want to say about Bobo, but because of his dribbling ability, Bobo can play small forward.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be a 7-foot small forward. People might not like that, but Bobo is a perimeter player. He's not necessarily he's not a post player. If you watch him play at Oregon, like, Bobo is a shooter. He can dribble, can pass. Like, he can play small forward.
Player.
Right, he's a positionless. Like, he can play. He's a point guard, is what I call him. I call him a 7-2 point guard. Like, he's a positionless player. Bobo can play every position. That's what's and he can shoot the basketball. That's what makes him so special. And even though we got like Blake and Drake, I mean, we get Bobo. I don't want him playing center because he can shoot so well, and he's much smaller. But like you said, Travis, I love what you said. He is a positionless basketball player. I call him the African KD. Like, the dude, he can't score like KD, but he averaged 21 points a game. But he can't score like KD. I'm not gonna give him that. But the dude is literally look like Kevin Durant. Just like, that's what he looked like.
The only thing that worries me though is his injury. Having Blake Griffin and Reggie Jackson, that's
but he
you
was
know,
healthy. He just didn't come back to play. That's how they do it when you get.
well, absolutely, because that's hurting. That's gonna hurt their draft stock.
Like one injury and you shut down unless you Zion Williamson.
Which that was kind of crazy that he came back. That's for the record.
Hey man, he's a man. He's a monster, dog. Like I ain't gonna get hurt again, dog. I'm built differently. That's what he was saying.
Honestly, Bobo's biggest problem, bro.
Like he got hurt because like his shoe blew out. Come on, man. He's a monster, dog. Can't wait for him to play Alonzo. It's gonna be over for y'all.
His only weakness is white girls.
Oh, don't do him like that. Hashtag facts though.
But the sad part was she was ugly, bro. That was the saddest part, bro.
Go ahead. What you was about to say about Bobo?
But biggest problem with Bobo, not trying to be funny or not, but he got them African feet, bro. I mean, it's hard, but he's a higher risk reward player.
Yeah, but all I'm gonna say is Joel Embiid has been way more injured than him, and even if he's still getting hurt to this day, we all know how good Joel Embiid is. I mean, they played the Raptors better than any other team in the playoffs. Took them to 7 games. So, and that's Joel Embiid, and Bobo definitely has the same potential as Joel Embiid. I'm gonna say that right now. Like his potential is like to me after Zion, he literally has the second highest potential. So his potential is off the charts.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Thon Maker pair up in the bench unit there, man. That'd be pretty nasty to start out and kind of gradually work his way into becoming whatever his ceiling is.
Alan Johnson came up with a good idea. I know you ain't gonna like this, Trav, but he said Bobo might drop down and we might be able to pick him up because of his draft stock. And that's the case, I'm getting him and Carson Edwards. That's the case, you can't get Cam Johnson, man. I know that's your boy, but if you can get Bobo and Carson Edwards, I might think.
I mean, the thing though is I look at players through like some analytical what do you call it, light, some game light, and and when I dissect a player, I see like, okay, what is winning in the NBA and what can translate from the college aspect. And that's the only reason why I'm so high on Cam Johnson, is because I see a lot of good traits. I mean, yeah, he needs to work on his defense a lot more, and he needs to find ways to get fouls called for him so he can get to the free throw line. But outside of that, he is one of the best shooters in that draft. I mean, he's already getting talked about being the best shooter in the draft. And if our biggest weakness is...
You cannot deny... I mean, look. I'm going to be real about Cam.
I mean, he's 6'9". I mean,
he's going to be
Cam
a great
Johnson,
player. He's going to be... We don't know his ceiling, but just because of his shooting ability, he's going to be a good player. Same thing with Luke Kennard. We don't know his ceiling, but you put that shooting ability on any contending team. Like, put Luke Kennard on the Warriors. Like, could you imagine? Oh, my goodness. Like, it's over. So, and he has that same ability because he can really shoot it.
I'm just saying is like, okay, everybody's touting about, oh, he's a 7-footer, but Cam Johnson is 6'9". Like, that's only what, 2 inches?
Come on, man. You 7 feet, man. He's 6'9". He Brandon Ingram. He ain't 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan.
Hold on. Let me
Bol is 7 feet with a huge wingspan, and he's a better defensive player.
Hold on, I'm definitely looking up my my chart.
Yeah, and can Cam Johnson shoot off the dribble?
Actually, I have seen him shoot off the dribble.
Bobo can do that, man. That dude is just he definitely has serious concerns, but like when you look at his skill set and his potential, it's just like if you don't pick him, you feel stupid. What was you gonna say, no?
But I mean,
I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't be following in the background over
there.
Okay, he has a 6'10" wingspan compared to a 7'7" wingspan. There's a 3-pound difference, and
heavier.
Bobo by 3 pounds. I mean, just the only thing is, okay, he did average about 5 points more. He averaged about almost almost 5 rebounds, and about obviously had more blocks. But outside of that, he's had, he's.
I'm about to
I
say, you
mean,
got to remember, Cam is a 5-year player. Bobo's a 1-year player.
yeah, but I mean,
giving you 21.
Okay. Don't even look about the 5-year, 4-year, 2-year, 1-year, whatever. Okay, he's only 23. Okay, you know who else came into the league at 23?
No, but my point
Kyrie
is, you
Irving.
comparing him to Bo 19, giving you 21, shooting 40% from 3.
I mean, it's one of them toss up, but I mean,
You get him 5 years of development is over.
Yeah, but do we have 5 years to waste?
No, I'm not saying we have 5 years. I'm talking about in general.
You said
absolutely.
Who else came in the league at 23? Travis?
Huh?
Who else came in the league at 23?
Kyrie Irving.
Oh, he did. He came in at 19, bro. Check facts.
No, he didn't.
Kyrie Irving definitely was a baby coming into.
He came in the league at 19, bro. He only spent 1 year in college and he was injured. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, I thought you was gonna say like Dame Lillard or Kuzma or somebody. I don't know.
Dame Lillard was another one.
No, Kyrie Irving came in the league at 19, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I was just making the point that like it's about like what do you think about this Cam versus Bo Bravo? Because like look at his age.
Yeah.
And that shooting, like his shooting ability is real. Like that's not fake.
I think Cam Johnson is going to immediately fit in our system just perfectly for the first couple of years. But he has a ceiling. I don't think he has huge ceiling coming up. He's already 23. He's just basically 5 years older than Sekou Doumbouya. Think about it. He's like Sekou Doumbouya is 18. This guy is 5 years older. He's expected to be that good at this age because he's 23. So if I'm picking him up at this age, I'm concerned about his ceiling, and we're not going to get that potential, let's say, star player. I don't know if he's going to be a star player. I don't know if he's going to be a good role player. He's going to fit into our system, but I don't think he'll be satisfactory guy for our rotation. I mean, even though he's a good player and he can shoot it. And also other thing about him, he's 6'9", but he does not play like a small forward. He plays more of a shooting guard style. So that's something that is definitely concerns me because he's not really a great defender. He doesn't really screens. He cannot really hold against the post. He doesn't really move laterally very well, as I heard from one of the scouts on him. He is good in terms of the trying to guard some of the young small guards, but so he has some limitations defensively. That's why I'm not really thinking about drafting him at 15. I'd think of drafting him at 20 or above. Even though if we do go with him, I definitely think he's a lot better than guys like Romeo Langford. I'm not interested in Romeo Langford. I'm not interested in Nasir Little.
I'll read some of the comments, and one of the comments said Bo is south for the tallest in the league. Yeah, like I said, bro, this dude is a 7'3" Kevin Durant, bro.
Yeah, the Bo, absolutely, man, absolutely. Is the guy can shoot,
like
can dribble.
People forget.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant was not.
Yeah, but can you hear me? I cannot hear you.
I can hear you.
JMO, you're breaking up or you're extremely low.
Hold on. I was about to say, go look. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
This ain't Verizon, but I can.
No, I was gonna say, like, look at his skill set. He's 7'3"? Like, he's positionless. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't pass up on him regardless.
He's a great player. I think it's someone rare. You're not gonna find someone in his qualifications at this.
You ain't gonna find a 7'3" person that can shoot and handle like that. You're not. Yeah. And he can play defense. That's the thing. He might be skinny or whatever you want to say about him. That's serious. But this dude is a defender. He's not a scrub defensively at all.
Only thing I'll say though about that is that he has to still put on some weight because you gonna be guarding up against some dudes who like to hurt people. So I need him to be a little bit stronger.
That's why you put him at small forward with the smaller guys. Just
True.
tell he just Blake Griffin tracking LeBron. He ain't doing it. Yeah, but I definitely would like to know what you think about Bol Bol as a prospect, Drew.
I like
Versus
Bol Bol, man.
maybe a Cam Johnson or anybody else we picking.
Outside of wing players, I'm thinking small forward, shooting guard, wherever the Pistons want to go to. This is the other guy that I'd want if we don't go that route because he can play the three. He can run in transition. He can block shots, shoot the ball. This guy can pretty much do it all. The only knock on him is his weight, and we have a player like that, Thon Maker, right now, who is currently putting on weight and working on his post game. And when you have a player making that strive to better that aspect of his game and giving him a guy like Dwayne Casey, who Dwayne Casey can develop young talent and helping him get the weight room, putting on whatever he needs to put on, whatever the max weight you want to put on, this could be perfect for the Pistons to make him better. And then if you go that route of trading Blake or Dre, him and Thon Maker could potentially be a smaller version of whatever you want them to be. It's very interesting to me, and I won't be mad if the Detroit Pistons go ahead and select Bol Bol at all.
Yeah, one more thing to add. If we select Bol Bol, we'll be one of the best front court team in the NBA.
Well, we all gonna be 7 feet. Like they ain't gonna know what to do because the special thing about, and I'm so glad that Travis said that word positionless. He's literally positionless because, and if you was to ask me, I would say Bol Bol is a 7'3" point guard. Why would I say that? Why would y'all call me crazy? I literally seen him play point guard at 7'3" for Oregon. He was playing point guard. So the dude is a positionless player because of his height. You can play him at other places. And looking at Giannis and Giannis came into the league maybe even smaller than Bol Bol, malnourished from where he was from, Greece. So and he built his body into a machine like no other. Giannis is the Terminator now. So and then you look at like KD, he's still skinny, but he built up a lot of muscle. And it's even Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball came into the league skinny than a mug. Came back next year in his year 2 swole. So you can build weight because he has a lot of talent. And if I was people, I'll probably obviously you want your player to work on everything during the off season. But I might just gear him to, since he has so many skills, just gear him towards just getting bigger and maybe not focus on his skills as much and just build his body into a machine. Victor Oladipo transformed his body, and that's when he had his breakout season. Because, like I said, he has all the skills already. He definitely can get better with those skills, but you just need to get his weight up, and the dude is a terror. Like, could you imagine if we selected him and this dude ended up 235? Like, the dude could be the best player in the NBA.
I don't know if you guys seen Ed Stefanski's comments, but he said that the players that he is looking at are going to be a good player, but might not necessarily be part of the rotation right away. I think Bol Bol would be the best player to go in that rotation right away.
Or Seiko DeBoya as well.
No, Seiko, Keldon Johnson. Like I said, Keldon can fit right in.
I don't think they're going to be there at 15, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. But like, just imagine you got, because Bol Bol plays defense, so you would have Andre Drummond, Blake, and then you have a 7'3" small forward that plays defense and can shoot. Oh my goodness! And he can pass too, like just like you said earlier, he can do everything. Then you have Luke Kennard shooting the lights out, and Reggie just not losing us the game. So that I'm telling you, man, whatever team gets Bol Bol, if that dude does not get injured, we're gonna be looking at this draft like we could have had Bol Bol and we passed on him. And I just have a fear that we don't pass on this guy. We don't regret it forever, and I'm gonna be pissed. Unless we get Carson Edwards or Keldon, somebody else that's really good, but he's just a guy. I'm not And y'all know I'm the president of the Carson Edwards fan club, but Bol is just a talent. Just name me the last talent that looked like him, and it was Kevin Durant. Not saying he'll be anywhere near close to Kevin. I ain't saying he'll be half of Kevin. What I'm saying, prospect. Name the last prospect like Bol. Probably never even been one because he's 7'3". So it's just something to think about, especially for tomorrow. Because the team who does take that gamble, I'm gonna be watching that team just because I have to see if I was correct about my assumptions.
Watch Milwaukee get them.
Oh my gosh, Milwaukee get them. They 3-peating. I don't care. They 3-peating because they gonna turn him and they 3-peating. You heard it here first. Milwaukee draft Bol. They 3-peat. Bruh, could you? Oh my god! Why you put that picture in my head?
That's my job. I like doing it.
Bol in his prime, and Giannis, who's only 24. Are you kidding me? No. Oh my goodness, that would be terrible for the league. In a good way, maybe. I don't know because I want to beat Milwaukee and win the championship ourselves. But yeah, that wouldn't be nice for the league. Watch Golden State draft him, dog. Golden State draft him. I'm gonna lose it. I can see them trading up and taking Bol. Cause Golden State is petty like that.
Don't let Toronto get their hands on him either.
Right. Alan Jackson says, "Preach, J-Mo." One way says Bol will be no better than Austin Day. You crazy? Austin Day? Bro. Oh yeah. I'm a big Carson Edwards fan, man. Dude, well, I call him a baller and a shooter. Like Carson Edwards, man. And I just don't understand why are they saying this narrative before we go? Because we 2 hours in. What is up with this narrative with that this draft is only a 3-player draft? I don't get it.
Well,
why are they acting like this draft isn't loaded?
I think people are misinterpreting it. I think
because I just watched some stuff today. They're like, "Yeah, this is only a 3-player draft. After 4, after 3, then it's not real." I'm like, "Are you insane?"
Well, I think the top 3 are going to have the most impact. That's what they're trying to say. They just don't know how to come across and say it. I think they're going to have the most impact right away. But there's players in this draft that you can transform and be really good.
Yeah, and I just feel like they will have a lot of impact. But college basketball is a little bit different than it has been in the last few years. In this crop, like we in a 5-year window where we're gonna have some good drafts because it was that same kind of window back when Harden and CP3 and Kyrie were getting drafted. It was like a 3-year window. I think we're in that window because what they say about last year's draft, y'all? Did they say there wasn't nobody in last year's draft? Exactly what they said. It was so many great players in last year's draft. So even Marvin Bagley came on last year and was playing great. And he was one that started off a little bit slow. And Ayton, you already know, Luka and Trey. Like it was some really good Wendell Carter Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr. It was some really good picks last year. What's his name? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It was just Landry Shamet too. It was just a lot of good picks. And I feel like the year before that when you got Lonzo and Fox and Mitchell and Tatum and Kuzma and Markkanen and John Collins, like wasn't Jared Allen drafted in that draft?
Yeah.
Jared Allen, like I just feel like we in a 4-year window where this year's draft, the last 2 drafts, this year's draft, and the next year draft where LaMelo getting drafted, those drafts are going to be star-studded. And those are the drafts that's going to shape the league for the next 15 years.
All right, before we go, who's got a fork truck? But no, before we go, Bleacher Report just tweeted out that Brooklyn might have doubts about signing Kyrie Irving if he's not bringing Kevin Durant with him. So that's going to be something to keep our eyes on heading into the offseason because that's going to change how people in the league are going to go after free agents. So definitely be checking that one out. But before we go, final thoughts. Nomas, what's your final thoughts for today's show?
Yes. Again, my final thoughts is thank you all for tuning in. Sorry that again I was late, and please wish me help. We sick again, trying to heal up. But yeah, I think tomorrow's draft should be an interesting one. Now that we get to see Dwayne Casey and Aston Crockett's first round pick for the Detroit Pistons since joining the team. So I guess we'll see how the cattle sells then.
Carl, final thoughts.
You know, Travis Troxel Sports Talk tomorrow for the draft show, and shout out to DSA Andy. I wouldn't be here without you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Even for accepting me despite my young age, I appreciate it a lot.
No problem, my brother.
So that's about all I have to say.
Problem.
I'll catch y'all tomorrow.
Bravo, final thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for that. I like the show today. You got a good topics, and we should continue to do that. I think for tomorrow, the Pistons are going to draft at 15, and hopefully will be a good player, and we'll look forward to that.
All right, Trev. I've plugged it a couple times today. Let's hear you plug it.
Go ahead and check out my channel. The links are in the description, or I will be typing right now to so you guys can click on it and get my channel and join us tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time for the live draft show. We'll have special guests, Noble Sports Entertainment, and we got a lot of hype going into this, so I'm excited for it.
Everything King could join us as well.
All right, JMO, final thoughts for today's show.
Oh, that's all you were gonna say, Trav?
Huh?
Like you ain't have anything else besides the plugs?
Oh, I just thank you guys for rocking with us today.
I see we got around 30 people in the chat. We had 40 or more in the chat, and I'm sure some people will watch this back. So I expect to see all of y'all tomorrow, so we can because when we talking the draft tomorrow on Travis' channel, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be crazy. I'm sure some trades are gonna happen. Some questionable picks are gonna happen, and when the Pistons come up, we all are gonna be sweating bullets and terrified because no one has faith in our team picking picks. And if we draft a Bobo, a Carson Edwards, a Kevin Porter Jr., a Keldon Johnson, we are saved. If we don't, and we're not trading back, we're doomed. And I'm just telling y'all the real. So, all 30 of y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to Travis's channel. Make sure you put something in the chat so we can see y'all tomorrow at 6:30 for this show. This is gonna be a very big show, very exciting show. And let's just pray. Whether you're religious or not, I don't care. I don't care if you're an atheist. Tonight, I need you to pray that the Pistons don't mess this up if you really care. Just pray. Because we got a big chance to do something special.
All right, peeps. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for supporting this Pistons Center Court. It seems to be doing a little bit better week by week, so I appreciate the support. And I am going to ask you guys a big favor.
Trav in the chat, man.
When the round table went live during the NFL draft, they had nearly 200 people watching their live stream. You guys got some pretty big shoes to fill. Not putting any pressure on you guys, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining us today. Instagram, Twitter, and my description. Be sure to follow me both there. Everyone except for Bravo's links are in the description because that's how it is. DSA, be sure to check all those guys out. But subscribe to 313 JMO, CA3 Carl Sports Talk, Nomus J, and Troxel Sports Entertainment. And draft is tomorrow, so be sure to come back to Troxel's channel to watch us live. That's all we got for you guys today. So you guys got something to say or no?
Oh, we good.
All right, peeps. We'll see you in the next one.